Okay, gonna make a version of this copy protected logo. Should be pretty easy to do by using several shapes in Photoshop. So what we'll do is we'll create a new file. I recommend 500 by 500 pixels, should be large enough for this. Give it a sensible name. Right, I'm going to create a black triangle. So on the left hand side of the screen here, there's rectangle, rounded rectangle. Logically, we're going to create a polygon with 3 sides. Color, let's make sure that's black. Okay, I can draw it on the screen. And this tool starts from the middle of the triangle and comes out. So I'll make it a reasonable shape. What I really want to do is get the bottom lined up. If I press Shift, then it lines up the bottom nicely for me. To move it, I can press Ctrl T or click on the logo at the top. So that's pretty reasonable. I can't see my layers, so I can go onto Window here, Layers, or press F7. So it's on a new layer, that's good. I'm going to write Copy Protection. I've found it looks better with Arial Bold. Let's try it with 48 points. Copy. And the original looks like it's got a double space there, but it's minor detail which doesn't particularly matter. Okay, so I've got my text. What I want to do is write CP. If I have any combination of the text, it never looks quite as good as it should do. So what I'll do is I'll make some shapes. The C and P are both going to be white circles at their base. So what we do is right click on here, I'm going to use the ellipse tool. Let's make it white. Now it draws ellipses, but if I hold down Shift it becomes a circle. And that's a little bit big compared to the original. To change it, I can click on Transform Tool and make sure Show Transform Tools is selected. When I make it smaller, it can go to an ellipse, but if I hold down Shift, it remains as a circle. To make small movements, I can use the keyboard for left, right, up and down. Now, instead of drawing another circle, what I'll do is I'll right click on the layer and duplicate it. So this will be the right white circle. And I can move it across again. And this should be called left white circle. Okay, and I can move it using the mouse keys. Select the right layer, move it left a little, that looks good to me. So in order to make them look like letters, what I shall do is create a black circle inside. There are other ways of doing this, but for speed, this is not a bad one. I hold down Shift, and I create my black circle. That should be a little bit bigger compared to the original, so I hold down Shift to keep it as a circle. And that'll do for me. Right click, duplicate layer, right black circle. Move it to the right. It's not too bad. So this is going to be my P, so it'll have a long white tail there. So what we'll do, we'll just clean up these. Left black circle. So that's the stalk of the P. So I'll make it a rectangle in white. Now it's tricky to get the shape quite correct, so I'll probably use a transform tool afterwards. Doesn't matter if we go over the line at the bottom because it's white on white, so it won't be seen. Now there's a small black line around there. As soon as I select another layer, it looks okay. No, actually isn't a bad job. Now for the C, there's a gap here. So what I'll do is use a variety of black shapes. I'll use the rectangle tool, select color, okay. Now if I just draw a rectangle there, the original has a sloping C there, so I can use the transform tools, and instead of making it bigger or smaller, go slightly further out, and there's a rotation tool. Press enter to confirm, and what I'll do again is I'll duplicate that layer. Whoops, that's escape to change. Now I could try and move it around, but what I might actually do is just try and, I don't want to flip the whole canvas, sorry. Go to edit, transform, flip vertical to just flip this shape vertically. Use the mouse, drop down left, right. If I select another layer, it's not too bad, but I've got another little white part there. So I'll actually be lazy and make one of these shapes just a bit. If I make it bigger, it changes the angle there. Right, so I'll select a new layer, create a new rectangle, and just cover up that. The P, in a similar way, has a shape here. So we'll just go block off a little bit of the P. With a black rectangle. Now, unfortunately, this is just a little bit too big. Well, that's not looking too bad overall. If I select the background, it gets rid of the lines around everything. So I think that will do for my copy.